Good evening, Bahamas. This is the State of the Nation, Issues of National Importance. This is your host, Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. We're very grateful for those sponsors who continue to support us week by week, that we can bring valuable information that the Bahamian people can use to deal with these national issues that affect us. We want to encourage those businesses that have not yet supported the show to please do so. You could call 325-8652. That is 325-8652, or you can email nationalaffairs.association@yahoo.com, nationalaffairs.association@yahoo.com to get your goods, your services, your products into the show. It's very important that you do that so that we can continue to come week after week and even improve on the show so that we can help our people to understand these vital issues and to make sound decisions and good judgment. My special guest today is Ms. Ally McIntosh, servant leader of the Bahamas Constitution Party. Ms. Ally McIntosh, welcome to the State of the Nation.
It's good to be here.
We are glad that you are here again for the second time. And Ms. Ally McIntosh, we want to talk about immigration in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It is a major problem. We have had lots of people coming into the country illegally, and even those who come legally, sometimes they overstay their time, they don't want to leave. There must be something about the Bahamas where you have people from all nations on the planet. Once they set foot in the Bahamas, they taste the Bahamas, they don't want to go home. There must be something about us. Why is this happening in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas?
Well, number one, I think that we are the greatest little country in the world.
Yes.
We sit in a very strategic place.
Yes.
I think I would like to say we're in the center of the world.
Yes, ma'am.
Our borders border on the United States and every other place.
Yes.
We're just right in the middle. We're
Right
the
in the
center.
middle.
We're the circle.
Yes.
So everybody wants to come to the circle of the earth.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that's what makes it very attractive for people
Yes.
to come here, whether legally or illegally.
Or illegally, yes.
I know I've traveled a lot over in the United States and a couple other places.
Yes, ma'am.
But I have met people from all over the world. And most of them, their dream is to come to the Bahamas.
Wow.
Before they die.
Yes.
At some point before they die. So you know it, and you know sometimes they've said it is so attractive that
Yes.
you come from a place where everybody wants to go to.
Where you want to go to,
Yeah,
yes.
everybody wants to go to. So
Yes.
it makes me feel proud to know that
Well, that is good.
everybody wants to come to the Bahamas
That's
at some
good.
point in their
That
life.
is very good, yes.
So that's
Yes.
the first situation with immigration.
Yes.
Is that everybody wants to come here. Some come legally and some come illegally.
Yes.
How we deal with the management of persons in and out of our borders is the situation.
Yes.
And I think that the problem we're facing now is that the governments have not been diligent and vigilant over the last 20 years or so. I know we've always had illegal immigration,
Yes.
boats coming. But how we deal with it, how do we always know who is in the country,
Yes.
is something that has not been managed properly. And I think that is the first thing that we must reorganize ourselves, reorganize the country, reorganize how we deal with immigration and citizenship and citizenry, so that we will always know who is here.
Yes.
Because a matter of a person being in the country for 18 years, and then has to apply for citizenship or
Yes.
has to apply, that becomes because you know they were here. Either
Yes.
you know they were here or you don't know they were here.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that is an issue that a government should know.
Yes.
And I think that how we work with that into the future is obviously very important.
Well, right now at this time, Ms. Ally McIntosh, it doesn't seem as if we understand who really is in the Bahamas. That is a real problem.
It appears.
We don't seem to know. We can't seem to get any accurate figures as to who really is there, even with those who have been admitted into the country.
I think, and it might be implication towards illegality,
Yes.
is that every government, successive governments, have done what they wanted. It has been their policy
Yes,
in
ma'am.
terms of what they do. One government decided to do one thing, another government decided to do
another
something
thing.
else.
Yes.
And so with that, it has allowed both the illegal immigration or the illegal immigration of persons, migration of persons, and the legal migration of persons to be overrun. As you say, people come here and legally and they don't go back.
Yes.
They don't want to return. They want
Yes.
to stay.
Yes.
That's the problem. Whether the government is checking to make sure we know who is here and when they're leaving, or where they go, where they get lost.
Yes.
All of that is something that has to be remanaged. And I think that going forward, we must look at that very diligently.
No, we have to, because I know of certain cases where I've made some reports on, where some people are here, they come legally, and then 2 and 3 years later, they're still here in the country.
Nobody does anything.
And nothing is done about it, and I am very much concerned about that. We should know, and we should have tabs in place where we can check on these people to know that when their time is up, they have to be out of the country.
But you know, there's another point that has caused that to be difficult. The fact that our address system of
Yes,
how
ma'am.
we find people in the country, that is a problem.
Yes, it is.
Because, you know, we can't say two corners down around the grape tree, underneath the canap tree. That is not going to work.
that's not going to work.
We need to reorganize the streets. We
Yes.
need to reorganize how we find people. And so where there is a legal address, it's going to be even more easier
Yes.
for us to be able to find people when they come here. If they do not go back, we can have somebody sent there, pick them up.
Exactly. Well, Bahamians, we have to look at this problem of immigration very, very seriously. We'll be back after the break. Courtesy Supermarket, located 169 Carmichael Road in Iguana Way, provides for you a complete line of groceries, produce, dairy, fresh meats, magazines, and pharmaceutical drugs. Call 3610235 for all your grocery items and personal needs. Creative Tees, Signs and Banners, number 15 Madera Street, provides a complete line of Androsia products, workshop and professional uniforms, banners, shirts, and decals. Quality printing at affordable prices. Call them at 6779476. Frankie Gone Bananas at Arawaki Fish Fry specializes in Bahamian food and seafood favorites. Grilled lobster combo with shrimp, chicken, grouper fingers, and snapper. Crack combo with fried chicken, mahi-mahi, and shrimp. Tropical drinks, Francolada, Bahama Mama, Sex on the Beach, among others. Drink and sing along at karaoke on Tuesdays, open 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Call us at 3230259.
With the freshest fruits, vegetables, and meats, you'll definitely enjoy the choices you'll find at Phoenix Fresh Market. We carry everything the big food chains offer. The only difference is our prices are so much better. Spacious aisles are stocked with everything you're looking for, so you don't have to run uptown for anything. The new Phoenix Fresh Market in the Coral Harbor Shopping Plaza. It's open. We are back. This is the State of the Nation, Issues of National Importance. This is your host, Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. We're discussing the issue of immigration in the country of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And Bahamians, we have to do something because we are overrun with many foreigners, aliens, outsiders in our land today. My special guest is Ms. Ally McIntosh of the Bahamas Constitution Party. Ms. Ally McIntosh, we need to have a reorganization of the system.
Yeah, I think a bigger reorganization is the entire country.
Yes.
Which means we need to go to a new kind of governance. I know people, it's very difficult for some people to wrap their head around it, but part of the agenda, my political agenda and where we're going, is that we need to reorganize the country to a public system of governance, that every institution is accountable to another.
Yes, ma'am.
If we reorganize the state in the first instance, we are going to be able to bring the institutions to a more credible place where once it's the law, it's the law.
Yes.
And I think to a great degree, we've had a lot of laws in this country that says after all of the articles of the law, then we put that the minister has the discretion.
Yes.
When we place in the minister has the discretion at the end, I mean, we should just go ahead and say the minister has the discretion.
Yes.
We have to get to a point where the law is the law.
The law is the law.
Yeah, and so that is the reason why we have always had situations with successive governments where they have decided during their tenure to do whatever they want. And if that means to give 10,000, 20,000 persons who migrate here citizenship willy-nilly,
It's in the
that's what has
discretion of the
happened.
minister.
It's in the discretion
And see,
of
that
the
is, that,
minister.
with Bahamians, that is a real problem because, you know, when things are just left open like that, anything is liable to happen. And Bahamians, we need to have clear-cut laws to deal with these issues, particularly when it comes to immigration. We cannot afford to have
our country overrun with too many strangers, foreigners, aliens, and outsiders. And right now, people are crying out. They want jobs, Ms. Ali McIntosh. They can't find jobs. They're complaining about the fact that there are too many foreigners in here with jobs. And how is it that you can have a government that touts it believes in Bahamians, and yet you have an invasion of foreigners getting jobs? In fact, this latest campaign that they decided to set up, that also has been handled by a Canadian firm.
Probably it is our government who does not believe in Bahamians. I mean, in the first instance, I have a problem, because when the leadership of the state do not believe in the people that they lead,
Yes.
that is the first problem. I think that is, for successively, we've had that problem.
We've had that, yes.
We've had that problem because we always want to go outside. There are
Always,
incredible, talented
always,
Bahamians,
always.
not only in the country, but outside
Outside
of
the
the
country, yes,
That
that
if
is
we
correct.
need legal advice, if we need any kind of advice, any kind of expertise, we can actually send for it.
Yes,
And some
we
of
can.
our own people. We have
Yes,
some
we
very
can.
good. And see, I think that's the first problem. If the leadership of the state believed that the people that they govern are the most valuable resource of this state, they would do different.
Yes.
But the fact that there is no forum that would be able to do the job that they want to be done, it speaks to, but that they can't find them to do. They can't find them. I
Yes.
think that's the biggest problem. It is in their mental psyche that they don't want to empower the Bahamian people. Because you could only have one philosophy. Either you empower all or you oppress all.
Yes.
When you go for empowering all, there's most likely that everyone would be empowered. There might
Yes.
be special cases where some are not empowered.
Yes.
But if you go for the philosophy of oppress all, there's a chance that you will do that too.
Yes.
So we must get to the point where the government of the Bahamas, the leadership of the state of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, believe in Bahamian people and that they want to empower all.
And Bahamians, we have to see it in action. We cannot have a government saying one thing and then doing something else different. And if they're doing that, and they are, as we know today, we have a responsibility as citizens to do something about it. And Bahamians, this is where we've got to know our Constitution, to know that we have rights, freedoms, and privileges in this land. We just cannot sit back and wait. We've got to put the kind of pressure on a government to do the right thing, because governments do not always act unless they are put under fire. And Bahamians, if we don't do that, you're going to find that our freedoms are going to be eroded, even as labor leaders are now talking about the fact that employers and even members of the government are now taking advantage of workers in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
See,
And we right back, as one of them said, to the time when Sir Randall Fox started out with the labor situation in our country.
but you know what? That is due to a great degree by the government's dependence on foreign direct investment.
Yes.
And because they are depending on someone to come and produce a savior for the economy of the Bahamas, that will be a problem.
Yes.
We have to find a way to generate new business, new income streams, new revenue streams for the Commonwealth of Bahamas
I
by
agree.
producing internally certain things. Because see, if we do not export the money, then
Yes.
we have more money to stay home.
Right.
But the fact that we are buying probably 97% of the consumables in this country,
That is correct.
becomes a problem. So we can't just send out for the money. We have to find another way to govern the country where we are producing
Producing.
internally.
Yes.
We can export. We have plenty of things to export.
Yes, ma'am.
And when we're exporting, so we're keeping the money home. We are producing a better economy for ourselves without
Of course.
shipping out all of the money.
That is correct. No, you're quite right about that. We can produce more. We can be able to strengthen the economy of this country. We can utilize the gifts and the talents of our people as well as our natural resources in the country. Unfortunately, the government of the day is very much concerned about foreign direct investment, and you know most of that money goes out of the country.
Yes.
And very little is left for the country itself. and
That's
for the
probably
people.
why we're not being developed at the rate we should be.
And the fact is, maybe that's why we have all of these problems, because they bring their foreign cultures in here. And some of these things, they are not even being Bahamianized to local conditions, how they ought to act with our workers in this country.
That's a good, interesting thing about the culture, because we are contaminating our culture,
Yes.
and we are not substantiating our identity as a sovereign state.
Yes, ma'am. We certainly need to look at that very, very seriously, because Bahamians, we cannot continue in this way for too long now, because
unfortunately, you're going to find that if we continue on the trend we're on right now, we can end up losing all that we've worked so hard for. And we cannot afford to let that happen. It is most important that we recognize that we have some very serious problems with immigration. We have some very serious problems with our labor relations in this country. And we've got to take the necessary action that is essential to bring change. We cannot afford to lose those things which we have fought so hard for. We'll be back after the break. Courtesy Supermarket, located 169 Carmichael Road in Iguana Way, provides for you a complete line of groceries, produce, dairy, fresh meats, magazines, and pharmaceutical drugs. Call 3610235 for all your grocery items and personal needs. Creative Tees, Signs and Banners, number 15 Bandera Street, provides a complete line of Androsia products, workshop and professional uniforms, banners, shirts, and decals. Quality printing at affordable prices. Call them at 6779476. Frankie Gone Bananas at Arawaki Fish Fry specializes in Bahamian food and seafood favorites. Grilled lobster combo with shrimp, chicken, grouper fingers, and snapper. Crack combo with fried chicken, mahi-mahi, and shrimp. Tropical drinks, Francolada, Bahama Mama, Sex on the Beach, among others. Drink and sing along at karaoke on Tuesdays. Open 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Call us at 3230259.
With the freshest fruits, vegetables, and meats, you'll definitely enjoy the choices you'll find at Phoenix Fresh Market. We carry everything the big food chains offer. The only difference is our prices are so much better. Spacious aisles are stocked with everything you're looking for, so you don't have to run uptown for anything. The new Phoenix Fresh Market in the Coral Harbor Shopping Plaza. It's open.
We're back. This is the State of the Nation, Issues of National Importance. This is your host, Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson, my special guest, Ms. Ali McIntosh, leader of the Bahamas Constitution Party. Ms. Ali McIntosh, we're talking about the issue of immigration. We do have some problems in the country. We have not been managing this issue of immigration properly. It has caused a whole lot of problems. People have been applying. They should actually apply between the ages of 18 to 19, those who are here legally in our land. But there are some who are coming in illegally and believe they have some rights in this country by having what they call these quote-unquote anchor babies.
Yeah, I guess you're referring to Article 7 of the
Yes,
Constitution.
ma'am. That is correct.
That states that a person born in the Bahamas after July 9th, neither of whose parents is a citizen of the Bahamas,
Yes.
shall be entitled upon or shall be entitled upon making application on his or her attaining the age of 18 years or within 12 months thereof, in such manner as may be prescribed to be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas.
That is correct.
Yeah, I think to a great degree, I think, as you say, people are probably taking it a little out of context.
Yes, they are.
I am of the opinion that the Constitution was implying that we are talking about legal migration, persons
Yes.
who are here legally.
Legally, that is correct.
Because of a person who is here illegally, who have either overstayed his time or who have landed illegally, that is their first.
That's first offense.
First offense
Against the law.
and against the law. And I don't think the Constitution. My idea is the Constitution is not supporting the illegality.
It cannot.
But how do we work with what has happened here in this instance? How it is that we solve a problem that over decades
Yes.
have left unchecked. Both successive governments have not been diligent and vigilant to make certain that people who are in the country legally is either repatriated are not allowed to continue to have anchor babies and to take advantage of Article 7.
That is correct.
Yeah, but what they assume, it is a general consensus that once you are here, whether you are legal or illegal, that children born here to parents who are not citizens or doesn't even have a right to be
here, yes.
To be here. So that is a great concern.
It is.
And how do we fix that becomes a very interesting concept.
Yes.
And how do we fix the problem that has been created? Because I think successive government has not worked with the rule of law.
Yes.
As relates to that, has caused this problem to be out of control. Because when you're looking at the amount of illegal persons in the country, And the amount of babies born to illegal persons, we are now having a second generation of problems where people who don't even have citizenship themselves are having baby,
Yes.
and there are concerns as what is the citizenship of their child.
Yes.
You know, how do we work that? That is a concern.
It is a serious concern. And so we have a situation, Bahamians, where you have more than one generation being born into the country from illegal aliens, and it compounds the problem. And it is most important that we look at this very, very seriously, because if we don't deal with this sooner than later, we can have a serious crisis on our hand dealing with these people. And Bahamians, we want to be humane, we want to be right, but at the same time, we have to get these people to understand if you don't respect the law of the land, you have to pay your consequences.
There's also a point in regards to Article 7 that says having attained the age of 18 and
Yes.
12 months thereof, which means persons, even if, for the problem that we do have here,
Right.
that exists, that when a person becomes 18 years old, that they should apply for citizenship. And if at the age of 19, that they have not applied for citizenship, that they are no longer, it is no longer valid. So it should not be that people at 25 and 27 and 30 still applying for citizenship in the
Yes.
country when it is that their window has already closed.
It has.
Because the law, the implication of the law is that they are not here if they
Exactly.
have not applied for
between
citizenship.
ages of 18 and 19.
Because if they were illegal, if their parents were illegal, landed here illegal, they were born here, and they have not been shipped out of the country or repatriated, the law has to imply that they are not here.
Yes.
And that is not what is happening. Because
is
while
true.
we are still granting citizenship to people at 27 and 30, that is a problem. Especially
big
if
problem.
they just applied
Right, yes.
in those. Because if at the age of 18 and until 12 months thereof, which is 19,
Right.
and if that application is not in by that time, that they should not qualify for citizenship.
No, I will agree with that, because that's exactly what the Constitution says. And so Bahamians, it is most important that we go strictly by the Constitution. And because we have not done that, we have compounded this problem, and there are people who still are looking for citizenship even after they are past the age of 19. Bahamians, the law is the law, and we cannot twist the law. We ought not to twist the law to suit any and everybody's situation. We can't have a country operating like that. It creates a whole lot of confusion. And so Bahamians, it's most important that we understand our Constitution, know what the law says, and we have to make sure that the government in place goes by that law. We have to make sure as good citizens of this country that we ourselves are not being taken advantage of by strangers, foreigners, aliens, and outsiders. That is why it's important that we know what is happening, how the law ought to go, and how we ought to be dealing with these situations. Ali McIntosh, it is a serious problem. We're going to have to make some very tough decisions.
I
Some are
believe
not
going
going to
forward.
be. Going forward, we have to. We're going to have to do something very seriously about it, because if we don't, we're going to find ourselves in very, very serious condition.
I think we're in serious condition now.
We are, but it will even be worse still.
So the next
because the
government-
longer we take, the
Yeah.
next government that comes into place must look at this objectively and must take the necessary steps that are essential to clear it up once and for all.
And I think that's why when I introduced the idea about us having to reconstruct the whole system,
Yes.
it has to be so the institution would be, the integrity would be in the institution, and that we make certain that all levels of government is accountable to the Constitution, and
Yes.
those things are done so that we can have an orderly society.
Well, we need to have a society of law and order, and so that is most important that we do that. And Bahamians, you and I have a responsibility to make sure that we see to it that it happens. That is why it is so important for you to be actually involved in the national affairs of your country. And Bahamians, if you're not involved in the national affairs of your country, you're going to find that some things are going to happen. You're not going to like what you see happening in your land. And so if you do not watch carefully what is going on and make the necessary steps collectively, that's where people coming together to do this, to make the kind of changes for our benefit. Bahamians, we're to protect ourselves, you know. Don't leave it up to somebody else to do it for us. If we don't do it, then it will not happen. Ms. Ali McIntosh,
It's been
this
a
is
pleasure.
very important.
It's been a pleasure being here
Thank you very much for coming.
as we look at changing the nation.
We have to change the nation, and Bahamians out there, we want to encourage and support the show please call 325-8652. That is 325-8652. Email nationalaffairs.association@yahoo.com. This has been your host, Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. Thank you for listening and viewing the show. Courtesy Supermarket, located 169 Carmichael Road in Iguana Way, provides for you a complete line of groceries, produce, dairy, fresh meats, magazines, and pharmaceutical drugs. Call 3610235 for all your grocery items and personal needs. Creative Tees, Signs and Banners, number 15 Madera Street, provides a complete line of Androsia products, workshop and professional uniforms, banners, shirts, and decals. Quality printing at affordable prices. Call them at 6779476. Frankie Gone Bananas at Arawaki Fish Fry specializes in Bahamian food and seafood favorites. Grilled lobster combo with shrimp, chicken, grouper fingers, and snapper. Crack Kong combo with fried chicken, mahi-mahi, and shrimp. Tropical drinks, Francolada, Bahama Mama, Sex on the Beach, among others. Drink and sing along at karaoke on Tuesdays, open 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Call us at 323-0259.
With the freshest fruits, vegetables, and meats, you'll definitely enjoy the choices you'll find at Phoenix Fresh Market. We carry everything the big food chains offer. The only difference is our prices are so much better. Spacious aisles are stocked with everything you're looking for, so you don't have to run uptown for anything. The new Phoenix Fresh Market in the Coral Harbor Shopping Plaza. It's open.
Courtesy Supermarket, located 169 Carmichael Road in Iguana Way, provides for you a complete line of groceries, produce, dairy, fresh meats, magazines, and pharmaceutical drugs. Call 3610235 for all your grocery items and personal needs. Creative Tees, Signs and Banners, number 15 Madera Street, provides a complete line of Androsia products, workshop and professional uniforms, banners, shirts, and decals. Quality printing at affordable prices. Call them at 6779476. Frankie Gone Bananas at Arawaki Fish Fry specializes in Bahamian food and seafood favorites. Grilled lobster combo with shrimp, chicken, grouper fingers, and snapper. Crack Kong combo with fried chicken, mahi-mahi, and shrimp. Tropical drinks, Francolada, Bahama Mama, Sex on the Beach, among others. Drink and sing along at karaoke on Tuesdays, open 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Call us at 323-0259.
With the freshest fruits, vegetables, and meats, you'll definitely enjoy the choices you'll find at Phoenix Fresh Market. We carry everything the big food chains offer. The only difference is our prices are so much better. Spacious aisles are stocked with everything you're looking for, so you don't have to run uptown for anything. The new Phoenix Fresh Market in the Coral Harbor Shopping Plaza.